There we go. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. It's morning here. I guess it's evening where you are, Annette. Good to see you. So, yeah, it's been a while since I've done one of these. So, yeah, you see if anybody shows up. I I'm thinking that I'm today just gonna talk about all the shit that's been going on for the cast. We're gonna try that again, and I'm gonna have a drink. Yeah. Today is gonna be the last day that I talk about all this nonsense. I want to give my perspective of what I see out there and what I think is going to happen. Uh, and if anybody will have any idea also about what they think is going to happen, I would like to hear those opinions as well. I take questions if you have any uh, regarding to the truth or whatever. So, yeah, today we're just going to wing it. I just put this up because I miss you guys. So basically, I have nothing planned. I do want to talk a little about Agenda 2030, but that's about it. Other than that, the floor is yours. So welcome. Yes. My camera is a bit off. It's like there's a delay from my voice. Yeah, there is. There is some kind of delay. I don't know what that is. I'm on the camera on my phone because I can't get my camera up here to work to the stream. So I'll see if I can make this work within the next week. So maybe I'll find another camera or something. Seems like I'm looking in the ceiling. It's right there. Oh my God. Okay, I gotta get used to this. Yeah, audio is good. It's still on the old mic, so it should be good. But the camera is a bit fucked. But we'll learn to live with that for now. So, Agenda 2030 coming up. It's going to be the next big thing. We had Agenda 2020 put in the bag, and that was an interesting one. And I believe 2030 is going to be even more interesting. And no, I don't think it's going to be an alien invasion. And I don't think it's going to be all those nasty things people are talking about out there. I don't think they're going to do a COVID 3.0. I don't think that either. I basically think they're going to implement everything they wanted from 1992 when they started planning this, about this. They call it a sustainable planet, a sustainable world. Well, we all know what it is. It's the New World Order, and they want more control. They want one world government, one world currency, one world opinions, one world religion. That's basically what they want, and they want it by 2030. So, yeah, if you asked me like 10 years ago if it was possible to play out this plan in like 5 years, uh, as I would say you're crazy. But now, looking at everything that's happened within the last 10 years, I basically think people will buy almost anything at these days. But it's all by design. It was never an issue of what might come, how they react, they're not winging it. That's what I'm trying to say. They are well prepared, or it's all well planned and it's going straight. It's exactly how they want it to be. They got people right where they want them. They they split us down in 200 pockets and got us arguing with each other, pushing us into the corner, raising the prices, you know, stressing out the population, fear mongering them, and we got the back against the wall, and we're looking at the government and say, "Hey, we need you to do something. We need you to be better." And in all this misery, this guy's come along, you know. This new guy on the block, you know, that's gonna he's gonna set everything right. Because we have to remember that everything that we are not happy about is man-made. It's elite made, even, So they can make it. They can make it go away anytime they want. They can make inflation go away anytime they want. They can make the crime in the cities that they surrendered in the United States go away any day they want. They can tell the truth any day they want. Any problem this world has is made by the elite, and they can destroy it as fast as they made it. So they decide who's going to be the savior of this world. They decide who the next, what do you want to call it? The Antichrist, the fake Messiah, you know? They decide. So if we have that in mind, and we know politics is a scam, even though it seems like many people have forgotten it these days. No, yeah, he's a part of it. Elon is a part of it, you know. But I don't think Elon is gonna be that guy either. You know. Okay, let's get into it. Who do I think is gonna be the leader of the free world? Many would say Trump, and I did that too. But Trump is just not clean enough. You know, it has to be a untouched leaf. It has to be somebody that people do not have an opinion about yet. I thought about that, for a long time. And there's a narrative that I can't shake, that the fake Messiah, the Antichrist, is the prince, not the king. And if you look at it in that perspective, I think, and this is my opinion, no, it's not going to be JFK either. No, those are just lieutenants, generals, whatever you want to call them, you know, and they'll be dead and gone when this agenda rolls out. Think about it. Trump is 78 years old. You know, JFK is not far behind. You know, these guys are not going to be there for the new world order. They can't be. They are just laying the groundwork and taking the fall for all the shit that's going to happen. You know, I think it's a young guy, and I think he's already gotten the name, the Baron. And I think that is who is going to lead the free world in, let's say, 2040, 2050. You still don't know? Okay. Trump has a son called Baron, and I think that is the guy that's going to lead this world into the light, if you want, you know. But it's going to be a big disguise for the one world government, one world order. And they want to make all the groundwork finish by 2030 so they can implement it from 2030 to 2050. 2050, it needs to be done. That's the plan. That's the plan I see they made, you know, and that's the manuscript that they've written a long time ago. And if you see what they wanted on that manuscript, they have gotten everything they wanted down to the last, period, So I believe this is my predictions that we are going to see implementation of the New World Order from 25 to 2030. We're going to see a lot of changes, and they are going to push us to a point where we are willing to give up yet again freedom and rights for security. And they're going to give us a shit package, And when we accept it, Trump going to take the fall. We're going to have some other guy or girl come into on the throne, and they're gonna implement all the shit that we need, But after that, they're gonna look to the prince, and I think that will be Baron, Trump's son. I think he's the next leaf that's gonna be played. So there you have it. I think 2030 is coming. I don't think there's anything we can do about it. The groundwork is laid. We should have done something about this a long time ago. But how could we? We didn't know. So I think we are not fucked, because I don't think the world will be fucked, But you need to have that cunning side to survive the next 20 years, In that 20-year period, you will still be able to operate within the system as a free thinking citizen. You just need to adapt a little, You need to pretend you're not a free thinking citizen for once. But you will still have the ability to be free. But they want all that gone by 2050. So yeah, we really need to use that time wisely. Oh, I forgot the link. Shit. Just a second, guys. I put out the link if somebody wants to join. So it's not going to be a polar bear feast here. There we go. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna be all darkness like many people think. When I say it's gonna be a dark period, it's because I think it will be some dark years for humanity. Everything that we call human will disappear. Humanism, the human behavior, whatever you want to call it, is going to disappear from this planet. It's not going to be allowed, not only by government, by your friends, neighbors. They don't want it either. Nobody wants it, you know. You're going to own nothing and you're going to be happy about it. That's what they said. And that's what they're going to get. You know, if they said it, they're going to get it. I've learned to come to that conclusion in my late years, you know. And that's why I'm laying down this rebel side of me. The guy who just goes out there and just screams and shouts and wear a t-shirt, he's gone. I don't feel like being him no more because I feel like I'm very alone out there these days. So yeah, I even took down the rebel sign to mark a new era. I don't identify with that guy anymore because that guy, he served the purpose. He definitely did. I don't regret anything I've done in this period from 2015 to 2024, but I feel like I'm at the doorstep of a new era right now, and I'm a different guy all around. This guy I am now, he do not care much about the world. How do I explain it? You know, I just don't want to. I'm not engaging more than I need to. I just want peace and quiet these days. I don't know if I'm middle aging right now or whatever it is, or that's the hard part. You know, you don't know if it's part of your development or you're just in a midlife crisis. You know, I am turning 50, so it could be. You know, so yeah, I don't know, but I guess we'll figure out. But the big thing is that I'm not worried anymore. I'm not afraid. You know, mentally, I'm ready. I have never been more ready than I am now. They could be knocking at my door tomorrow, put me in jail, and I'll get the best out of it. You know, so yeah, that's that. All right. Good to see you, Sunset Cactus. Who do we have? It says 3 people, so I guess there's one more. Uh, now it says 2. I guess I scared him off. uh, so how you doing, Annette? Are things good over there? How did this election change your town? Are the shops coming back? Okay. So let's talk America for a bit, just for the heck of it. You have gotten the bad end of the stick. We don't see the changes much over here. We see the inflation. We got some new rules and implementations over here. That's kind of weird. Can't think about it. on the top of my head. But we are going in a one world order direction, but it's not with the stick. They're just doing it. They're just saying, "Hey, now we're going to do that," and then they're going to do it. You know, they are taking away our biggest note. They are making some they're making some groundwork for the one world economy over here, definitely, and they are moving us to digital. And they're even talking about taking away the next note. So if for you that don't know, January 2025, they're taking away our biggest note in Denmark. It's a 1,000 krones note. It's gonna disappear. We have 3 months to surrender everything. Every 1,000 krone we have to the bank, so we can get to get money for it, and they're gonna put it out of circulation. A 1,000 note is about, what is that? It's about $140. Yeah, that's our biggest note here in Denmark, and they're taking that out of the circulation. Um, and not only that one, they're taking every note on the other side of 2007. That means every new note that's every old note printed before 2007 is going to be taken out of circulation. So they're gonna already there. They're gonna take a big amount of the cash that's stored away that people have forgotten somewhere, or hid under the mattress. They're gonna take that shit out of the equation with these new laws that they make. We have until summer next year to deliver any notes before 2007. If we don't, they will become worthless, and they have to go to the bank. That's the big thing. They want an estimate on how much money that's lying out there. So they're giving us a deadline where we can come with our money to the bank. Yeah. So that's that. Oh, sorry, Annette. I did not see you. You were right behind the phone. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am good. I am good these days. So
Me too.
that's good. Good
Yeah,
to hear.
yeah. Yeah, everybody in my life is happy. A lot of people were rooting for one team or the other, and I
Yeah.
didn't care either way. It didn't matter to me, but it made a lot of people in my life happy, so that's good.
Yeah. I think everybody got happy in the United States. Even the Democrats were starting to think, you know, please let this guy win, because we are so off track that we need, to be wheeled in. Unless you're the extreme leftist, everybody
Yeah,
can see how big a farce it's become. I think even a big portion of the, what dare I say it, regular thinking Democrats,
yeah,
you know, they started to see the problem, So I think that's what I've heard, at least from people I've talked to over there. That it feels like there's this big weight taken off the shoulders of
there's a sigh of relief that went
yeah,
across.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what I hear. So that's good, I guess. That gives
yeah.
people a break at least.
I think it's a false sense of security, like you say. Um,
Yeah.
he's just playing his good guy, bad guy role right now. He's going to come in and make America great again and build that wall back up and all that nonsense. But
Mm, yeah. Yeah, man, And you see, the problem in the United States is pretty easy to fix, actually. You know, and that's what I think. That's why I think they're gonna pump him up like that, because they can decide, you
Oh
know,
yeah,
what
they're
they
printing
want.
money. Exactly. They can print money like crazy if they want to. And boy, that's scary that they're taking your largest denomination away. That's yeah, that's
Yeah,
definitely step in a certain direction, and I'm sure we'll be seeing that next as well.
you will, because it's normally it starts over here in somewhere in Europe, in a little pocket. They like Denmark because it's a little sheltered society, so it's a good little test ground for all the new things they want to do.
Yeah.
So
Usually New Zealand and Australia is the same way too. They like to fuck with them because they're so isolated. Uh,
first,
it's easier
see,
to
that's
get
what they do.
away.
First, they do it in a small scale. So if you're over there, they're going to do it in New Zealand. If it works in New Zealand, they're going to take it to Australia.
Right.
And we saw that in 2020. They actually did it the same thing here. They were implementing a lot of things in a small place, even Sweden or Denmark, you know, and then
Yep.
they say, okay, it works. Now we're gonna go to England and France.
Right.
So so
It's like a
yeah,
little beta test ground.
yeah, that there's no coincidences in this world. They have, sometimes it seems like they're winging it. It seems like they're not bright enough to be this evil Knievel people that they are, but you just have to understand that they're not pulling the strings. It's people behind that's pulling the strings. So it's perfectly set up, and the plan is made at this point. I don't think we can
Yeah.
change it. So
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I agree with a lot of what the way you're thinking. I'm going to keep being my free range human for as long as I can get away with it. But
yeah,
you know, we are a species that evolves, and we've been evolving. Apparently, I think we were at some point in the distant future, we were probably so different that we didn't have to maybe communicate verbally, or maybe we didn't have to consume food. I mean, to me, I think we've already undergone a lot of metamorphosis. So whatever's coming for the next human phase of existence, it's happening. We're part of the tail end of the last existence, and we're seeing the new biological human come online uh, in all
yeah,
aspects. And so, so what? I mean, so what? I'm still a soul having this human body experience. And if they're going to turn me into a little Android battery accessory, well, all right, great. I'll take some new upgrades. I could use them. So, I mean, right? I mean, what are we going to do? You can hold out, be the last holdout, which I'll probably go for. But my son and his in generations coming after him, they're going to roll right along with these changes. I mean, they don't look at some of this technology in the same aspect and light that we do, and so they're more adaptable to it already in their
mm,
mindset. And I think biologically as well. I mean, with the amount of vaccinations they've been put through, the amount of everything in the air, the food, the water, they're already slightly different than us,
yeah, exactly.
I would say.
Yeah, but yeah, I just think that we are developing to be less humans. That's how I see it. We are becoming stupider and stupider. I call it stupefaction. I don't call it modification. I call it stupefaction, because basically what I've seen. If you look back, we just got dumber and dumber and dumber. And I'm not talking about centuries back. I'm talking.
Yeah.
I can see from when I was a kid until now. You know, people have
Yeah.
just gotten more stupid by the year. You know, and it escalated after. Well, I think after 1992, that's why I saw it. You know, when
Mm.
they implemented that Agenda 21 back in the days, that's why it really started escalating and becoming a bigger problem. And it was like they released the snowball down the hill, and it's just been going on ever since. We're getting stupider and stupider by the minute. It's not a couple of days ago, I was sitting with my daughter, and it was like I sounded like my grandpa. You know, I started being that guy. Oh my God, young people these days, and they have no idea, and they're just stupid as fuck. I, and I stopped myself and I said, you know what? I'm starting to sound like my grandpa,
Right.
and it's yeah,
So maybe this just is the natural course of things, but we definitely are getting dumbed down, and there's no doubt about that. I have a book that I'm reading right now from 1853, and just the language in it, I have to look up certain words. Because they're just not in the vernacular that we use anymore,
yeah,
and it's so eloquently the way they're speaking in the book. So, and this book it's called Knowledge for the Common Man. Well, if this was common knowledge in 1853, what did the uncommon knowledge sound like?
yeah,
For the uncommon man, what do their books read like? So, and even you can just see it in the books from my generation. I still have some of my childhood books that I used to read when I was a kid. even even that is so much more higher standard of education than what they can read right now in school, and it's sad.
yeah. Good to see you, Carrie Skates. So, but yeah, yeah, I definitely
Yeah, I
do
like what you
notice
said.
them. Yeah, I definitely do notice them more than I used to. Yeah, for sure. And it's not only because of the internet. It's I also think it's about our awareness. The more you get under the curtain, the more you stick your head behind that curtain, the more obvious and the more aware you get when you watch people on the street. So yeah.
Yeah, I came up with a new saying. I think we should make retarded stupid again,
Oh
because
well,
retards are in fashion right now. It's
yeah.
think we
Well, it's retro. They're recycling that shit. Yeah, I guess people were always in our neck of the woods. They were always stupid. I think you're right, Carrie. As I think if you look back, there has been some stupid what do you call it? Generations
yeah, yeah,
in between. But I always felt there was this core of rational thinking people out there, that you could connect with. So it's like when you had enough of stupid, you turn to the rational people, and when they
yeah.
were kind of boring, you turn to the stupid people. I don't feel like we have that anymore. Now I feel like everywhere I go, I won't call it stupid because they're not stupid. There's a lot of people out there that's not stupid. They're just I don't I don't know the right word. I think I want to use the word pointless. It's just pointless. The conversations they have are pointless. Everything about them is pointless. And they seem to think it's so important what they do, and so
Yeah.
it's yeah.
It's just a lack of knowledge, shared knowledge. Um, but and there's no interest. It's so hard for them to look beyond their own selves right now when you're just scrambling to get the bills paid, put food on the table, get your kids from A to B wherever they have to be, and uh, they don't have, most people don't have time to sit back and reflect, and they didn't until 2020, when, good old COVID made everybody actually sit down, and that was the opportunity for some people to sit and reflect and look at the way things were going. And for others, it was a free for all. Let's get some free money. Let's go get a bigger TV, and and all of this nonsense. They
Well, it was
wasted
also
the
the era where they got their foot in the door to family, to homes, and I think that was the biggest thing about the 2020 scam is that they got inside homes at that in that point. Until that point, everything was outside the home. You could
yeah,
always retreat to your old little domicile, and you could be
right,
safe there. But this
right,
shit came into homes. Now your neighbors start looking weird on you, and
yeah. Or even
you
my own parents.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that was a big thing about the 2020 thing. That was what was different from all the other nonsense until now. And it's like they're taking a little piece every time they do something. They just take a little piece,
yeah,
and you say, you know what? All I want is for this to go away. Okay, take my rights.
yeah,
You know? And they're gonna do it again. America is pushed in a crook of a corner right now. And I saw an iron hold on many big towns, um, and I even got the feeling that many Americans don't even realize what's going on in their own country. Because I was speaking to people about Memphis, I was speaking to people about Atlanta, and even Arkansas was bad too. you know
mhm,
and and they were like, yeah, but that's nothing. You should try to go to Chicago, you should try to go somewhere else. And I've been to Chicago, and I said, you know what, that's not the same thing at all. And then Mike, he showed me a survey that was done by a big high school, no, not high school, what do you call it, university over there.
mhm,
Yeah, they made a what do you call it, a survey that
mhm,
showed that Memphis is actually, in the first half of 2024, is the most dangerous place to live in the United States. So there you have it. All the
right,
people that said that they can't, it's not that bad. Memphis is nothing. Go to Detroit. Go to other cities
yeah,
they name. And yeah, they have probably areas that's worse. But what I amplified in Memphis is that town was totally surrendered to crooks, you know, and you don't have that anywhere else. That's what the difference is. Anywhere else, you have a safe little pocket called downtown, and
mhm,
you, as long as you stay within those perimeters, you're good. If you start
right,
wandering out, yeah, it's bad. you know but you have a safe zone in every, even New York has a little safe zone. and
yeah,
and that was what was different about Memphis, is that it was non-existent. All the gangs, they owned downtown as well. Even when you, in daytime, you had 3 or 4 cruisers running up on each other because they would not be seen down there by themselves. So yeah.
well, there's really so much that we don't realize that's going on in the neighboring states, because we don't even come outside of our own communities, much less our own states, half of the time. You don't know how unusual it is for me to just travel to another state to go visit people. We don't do that anymore. And so you don't know what's going on. It's just like the tragedy of what happened in North Carolina and the Tennessee area. That Hurricane Helene, that was more than a hurricane that went on that during that event. And the people that lived on a mountain, they were flooded out of their homes. Whole towns and communities got washed away. There were at least three different plants. There was a plastic plant, a plant that used to house radiation, and a concrete plant, all on rivers, completely taken down to the bare floor. Those plants are completely gone. All of the chemical, that entire chemical soup is in the water system and in that. But worse than that, there were tens and thousands of people that died, and they're only reporting a couple hundred. And it's way more than that. I mean, we're talking thousands of people that died. And it's the only people reporting it are the homesteading YouTubers. Truthfully, the boots on the ground people. Where's our Corps of Engineers? Where's the Army? Where's any of these things that we pay all these services for? Nobody's helping these people, and there's a complete blind eye. If you ask anybody in my little small town, Illinois, what's going on in Tennessee and North Carolina, I'll guarantee you 9 out of 10 people don't have a fucking clue.
Even
that
worse,
are very neighbors.
where's the preparation? It's not like it's a big secret that you have this period where the hurricanes come in. It's coming basically every year.
People living on the side of a mountain are not prepared for a flood, and that's the other thing. They're being denied any insurance. They're being told right now you're not going to get basic services of power and water at least until after the new year. Hello, that's months away that they're going to go through winter. Their houses, people, they went out and through all of this toxic nonsense, they've mucked down their homes down to the bare things, and they're not allowed to rebuild because they're being told, sorry, FEMA's going to have to evaluate.
But that's
your
if you want
land.
to make want to make a leader of the free world, you need to create the problems for him to fix. It's the good old fashioned saying about auto
Right?
up cow. It's right there on your $1 note. Auto up cow, order out
Yeah.
of chaos.
Yeah.
You need to create chaos in order for people to demand a solution. When they demand a solution, you put all the solutions in one man, and that one man will be, but worshipped, basically.
Well, I don't know. I just see it happening from one area to another. Years ago, it was Paradise, California. Last year, it was Hawaii. This year, it's our east side or east coast.
Look,
People
it was
won't do
always
anything
meant to
until
be.
it's in our own neighborhood.
It was always meant to be Trump. I saw it the whole way. I saw it back when he was the first time. I said, the moment that Biden he came in office, I said, "Oh, just you wait. This guy's gonna come back. He's not done." They're not done with him
I was
because he has.
surprised how many people voted this time. I mean, it seemed
Did they?
ridiculous to me that they didn't realize their vote didn't count worth a shit in 2020, and then they thought they really thought it was going to work again, and now they're convinced, oh, it did work. Look, we voted this time and it worked. You fucking fools. Oh my God.
Yeah. But look, it won't take much to reverse a lot of the problems that you have over there. That's what I'm saying. Now everybody's pressed in the corner. All you need is just for this guy he just needs to swing his magic wand, and all of a sudden he don't have 70% of the population. He will have the whole population behind him.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you're in trouble. Because that's why you need to check your pockets if your rights are still there. Because it's not new. They've been doing this forever. And everybody seems like it's a new thing. When you talk to people, oh, it's unprecedented. That's the big thing that they like, the big word they like in the US. What do you call it? Unprecedented.
Unprecedented. Yeah. Yeah.
You
Bullshit.
love that word, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, it's not unprecedented, none of it, you know. Even when COVID hit, they were like, "Oh, it's unprecedented," or what do you call it, you know? And I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, the exact same shit played out in 100 years ago. It's not new,
1918. Yep.
you know. They just tell you it's
Yeah.
I,
There's
I
nothing
can't
new
even
under
say
the
that
sun.
word, you
The,
know,
the
you know.
scripts are being played over and over again.
Yeah,
And that's part of what makes me feel like we're in some kind of simulation because it's the same old story. It's the same old duality. It's the same old bad guy script over and over and over again. At what
yeah.
point do you learn to live your life without buying into any of these narratives? That's
I
the
think
trick.
I think they have info and knowledge from going so way back, you know. So this is just a redefined, manuscript that they have for so many years. They have had the luxury to learn from their failures, you know. We don't, because every time civilization falls, you know, the common man is left in the dark, and only the leaders of this world have the knowledge. And I
Mhm.
think, you know, they can correct their ways, and God knows how long this has been going on, you know. Because, as you know, I've been traveling the world lately, and I've seen a lot of buildings that's definitely
Mm,
not made in the 1800s, you know. That so
no. I was blown
yeah,
away by Berlin. Wow, you're right. The
yeah,
architecture there rivaled Rome.
yeah. It was
Amazing.
the Roman buildings in Berlin were more impressive than the Romans building in Rome.
Yeah,
So there you have it. That was crazy.
that
And
was.
that Berlin has even been bombed. You know, if you listen to the
Right?
history, they've been bombed to the
Dresden?
ground. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
but all the building they persist. All the old
yeah,
building persists. Somehow they magically escaped all the bombs. You know, so
yeah, yeah. Proof, earthquake proof. Yeah,
yeah,
all of it.
yeah. And you know what? These building we are building today, I know because I'm the guy building them. You know, and those building, if you drop the bomb 500 yards that way, this
Yeah,
building will crumble. It will just
yeah,
it will
right,
flat out just crumble. You know, it will
right,
be, yeah, it will be
right.
flattened just by a little
Yeah,
pressure wave. You know, it
yeah.
will be gone. The way
No,
we're building today is very, very. How do you call it?
yeah. No, they're putting massive granite and marble structures on top of water.
Yeah,
Back in the day. I mean, give me a break.
yeah. And now you know what we do. I can't show you because my phone is the one doing it. But I have a video that I took a couple of months ago that shows people how they're building nowadays. In Denmark, everything is just hauled together by a crane. You know, it's prefecture manufactured somewhere, and it's loaded on a
Yep,
truck. We get even bathrooms are intact with the toilet and sink and everything. It comes with a little box that you put in the building, and then the plumber comes and he connects it, and it's done. That's the
yeah,
toilet. You know, it's
yeah.
a pre-manufactured toilet with
Prefabbed
everything in
home.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
a total bathroom with everything in it. You know, it just gets hoisted down by a crane. That's how we
Mhm.
build these days, and it's built by the cheapest manufacturers with the cheapest products. You know, and
Yep.
some of these buildings that I've been building in the last 2 years, they won't last 100 years. They last
No,
50 years. You know, I think
they
that's
won't last that long.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's what tells me that something big is coming up, because
yeah.
you can actually see the timeline if you go back and you say look at buildings that were built like 300 years ago. They were
Hmm.
built to last 300 years. You know, and you have buildings that was built 200 years ago. They were built to last 200 years, and so forth and so on. You know, and if you
Yeah,
look at it like that, it's you can see a countdown in the architecture all the way up till now. You know,
100%. Yep.
yeah,
We're
and
disposable at this point.
yeah, and what we're building now is built to last 50 years. You know,
Yeah.
so if we add 50 years to now, we are at 2070. So I think that's
So,
where they're gonna everything is gonna
you
go to
know,
shit.
yeah. Well, they know, they obviously know more than what we know.
Exactly.
They've planned for a surface level that, they're not worried about. That it's okay. What's getting demolished up here does not matter to them, uh, because there's going to be other land masses that I think they'll inhabit. You know, I think there's some kind of something's coming. I don't know what. Some kind of a natural, unnatural. It's something cyclical that they know
Yeah.
comes around ever
Yeah.
so often,
Yeah.
and they're preparing for it. They're going underground. They're going where they need to go. The rest of us little roaches will have to make it or not. And then that's why our buildings are disposable, because it doesn't matter. It's going to get washed away and blown away or by fire or whatever.
Makes me think about, you remember the TV show called, what, I don't know the English word, The Fraggles?
Yeah, Fraggle Rock. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fraggle Rock. Yeah. Remember
Mm-hmm.
those little guys that built this shit that the Fraggles eat?
The
So they come
doze.
once in a
Oh,
while. The
yeah,
doozer, we
yeah.
call them the doozer, the
The
dozers.
dozers. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
They're building up, and then they come and they eat everything, and they have to start all over. And you have
yeah,
the if you look at that world, and you have the big evil Knievel, the garbage
yeah,
monster in the back, you have to pass. You know.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah, it reminds me of that. We're just building.
yeah,
It's just time consuming. You know, it's an
yeah.
occupation, and that's why it's called an occupation. You know, that's all it is these days. You know, and I
Right.
see a lot of maintenance. Sometimes I'm doing something at work. I was like, why are we even doing this? It's just stupid.
Mhm.
And I asked my boss, this is stupid. Why are we doing it? And he just, well, we're making money.
Yeah,
You
right,
know?
right, right,
They are paying us. That's why we're doing it. You know,
right.
and I'm like, yeah, but it's stupid. Next year we have to come and do the whole thing over again, because this is not gonna last. And he says, yeah, and guess who's gonna do it all over again? We are, and we're gonna make more money. You
Yeah,
know? And that's the mentality of people these days. That's all it is. And people even don't care much about their work no more. It's just like, yeah, well, I just gotta get this over so I can get home and do
yeah.
whatever I want. You know?
Well, it's just busy work to keep us entertained, entrained, entangled, uh, from doing what the real work is. Maybe the real work is to figure out who we are, what we are, and
Yeah,
they have figured out, well, if they can keep us mindlessly in the going down the rabbit holes of conspiracy theories, or being a Democrat or Republican, or being in your religion, or being in your holding on to whatever identity that they give you, you know, that you get assigned to at birth. If we can just keep focusing on that, then we'll never really get to the real work. And so,
yeah,
maybe that's the game, is to stop playing. It's just like the They Live movie. It ended when we unplugged the television. Well, that's where we're at. I think we're at that cycle of humanity again, where some of us are ready to just unplug the cycle of participating in all the nonsense and start looking at what's the real purpose of all this bullshit. Why
yeah,
why are we doing this? Why did I come here to be a massage therapist? Why did you come here to build buildings?
yeah,
Are we doing great works? in those fields, yeah, maybe you're providing a home to somebody, and I'm giving relief to somebody. But
Yeah.
what's the bigger picture? What should we really be?
No, I think it's exactly that. I've been saying that for a long time. I think we were put here to find out. We were put here to become a higher self, you know. And I think everything is designed for us not to get there. You know, I think
Yes,
everything is designed
right.
to take time away from us. I think we are as people are here for a certain amount of time. And
Yeah,
even that has gotten muddy by the
yeah,
years. How long are we here? Somebody is here for 50 years and somebody else is here for 100 years. I think, let's say, for argue's sake, that we were meant to be here for 100 years. you know that's how our body is built. There's a purpose for that. I think that is the amount of time that it takes us to get to where we need to be,
hmm
to evolve to that higher self. you know and everything in this system is designed to take that time away from us. you know Eh, we in even kindergarten we're getting yanked away from our parents in an early age. Don't let them hang around your parents too long. Then you're through
right.
the education system, and after that all the duties you need to fulfill in order to be a normal functioning human being. And all of a sudden you're 40 years old and you sit down for the first time in your life and think about things. That's
hmm
that's that's by design, because somehow they know if they don't care after that. Somehow
Right.
they know if can just take 40 years away from your time, you won't get there. And
Yeah.
I think that's the big secret. you know that's all they need, because I see a thing when people in my age, they don't give a shit about that, as long as I don't preach to the younger generation. And that's the fear they have. Don't let people wake up in an early age, because
Mhm.
then they might get there you know
Right. Right. Right.
so and I don't know why they fear us getting there, but there is some kind of end result to all this. So maybe a bigger spiritual war of something we can see. So yeah, but it's
Right.
definitely, you can see the system is designed to take minutes and hours away from you, even in the smallest scale. I'm not even talking about work and everything. When you go to the store, you're led through this horror corridors of things that you want to buy, and all of a sudden you spend an hour doing your groceries and other examples. uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but everything is designed to take time away from you. And I think that is by design. In There's an old saying, time is money, money is time. And I think that's the whole scam about the money, is that you have to devote your time to get it. you know so
Yeah.
I'm pretty
The
sure
curse.
time is what they want from us. They want to take our time away. As long as they do that, they don't give a shit. Then you're doing your job, as long
Yeah.
as far as they're concerned.
Yep. Very true. You see it with the sporting events, getting us hooked onto, yeah, all of it.
Yeah, the whole world is basically entertainment these days.
hmm
you know
Yeah.
so yeah, and that's what I realized. And I think that's a big thing of this new awakening I have. I'm kind of jumped behind that curtain now, so I starting to see things that I'm doing that don't make sense either. I'm the guy going around complaining about everybody else doing shit that don't make sense, but all of a sudden I'm starting to look at myself and I'm doing shit. that doesn't make sense, Why am I going to Sweden and fight another guy on a mat in order to get this?
Yeah.
This is
Right.
what I got
Yeah.
for fighting another guy. It's not even real bronze. It's just a piece of brass, a
Well,
painted piece of
but
brass.
you got more than that. You got what you put into it was your determination.
Yes.
You put time and effort into your body, your mind, and your health. So it's more than just the little trinket that you got because it
Yeah.
was
The problem
right.
is I didn't. I kind of didn't. And that's the difference for me back then, because I used
Right.
to put
Right.
the time and effort in. But ever since I came back from the United States, I've been in a hole. I don't want to train. I don't want to do the work. Normally, I
Yeah.
was do the diligence, do the work. That I was that kind of guy. I lost that edge. Something happened when I was in the United States. Something happened to me, and yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
It's a very weird feeling, but it's not, and it's weird because everything it looks bad on the surface, you
Mhm.
know, but it feels good. So it's kind of
Good.
weird. So
Yeah.
if you
It feels like
if
a
you ask
funk,
me,
but you're
sorry,
kind of like in that butterfly stage. You're in between the cocoon. You're in your cocoon stage, in between the caterpillar and your butterfly stages will be next. You know, you're still.
yeah, yeah, but that's the weird part. I don't know if I want to be a butterfly. I like being the caterpillar. I'm a ground fighter. I'm a ground fighter. I can't all of a sudden go around flying. It's
Yeah.
weird.
What? Well, see, that's just it. That's part of this new human that we might be rebelling against becoming. Um, maybe it's more than just physical things too. Maybe we're changing we're getting new spiritual insights or maybe more
Definitely,
connectedness with to what are they? The senses where we
definitely.
where we think we know things ahead of time or you have intuitions, and
Yeah, I definitely felt that, but I have a hard time telling if it's just a part of the awakening or it's a shift of energy or what it is, because it could be both. My awakening has been snowballing since 2015. It's crazy how much I basically lived a whole new life from 2015 till now. It's only 9 years, but I
yeah.
basically experienced as much in this period as I had my entire life. So, um, so yeah, I don't know if it's just a part of waking up or waking up is a symptom of what's going on, and it's a bigger shift somehow
Yeah.
out there. What I do know is I'm a insignificant little pawn in this game, and I just need
Hmm.
to play my part. You know.
I don't know. I'm looking at it differently. I'm looking at it as I'm the star of my own fucking movie, babe. I am number one movie star in my movie. So I'm not insignificant or a little pawn. I'm going to make myself the player I want to be. I think I'm finally to the point where I don't fear things anymore. I don't have a fear of death. I don't have a fear of the government's going to come get me and make me do anything. I don't have a fear of being lonely anymore. I don't have, I feel like I'm like, I can relate to what you're saying. I don't know if it's a bunch of us that felt that around that time period, but in 2016, I got fired from my job that I had been a cardiology coder and biller for 20 years. And it was such a huge change in my life. But it was the kick in the ass that I needed because I wasn't happy. I felt stagnant. I felt stuck. And I wasn't willing to make the changes until the universe made it for me. And boom, like I think I had been already open to ideas of, well, I'd been listening to David Icke for 10 years before that. So I was already a little goofy and open on my line of thinking. But it really expanded in 2016 for me. That's when I started sun gazing. I started changing my diet. I started meditating, going barefoot, grounding, uh, looking into crystals. And yeah, I think a combination of all those things just really set me off in a
Yeah.
new direction.
I think what it is, at least it was for me, is it takes the limitations of this world away. It's kind of like when you get to a point where you stuck your head behind the curtain and you say, you know what? It's all bullshit. Everything I've been told up to this point is a lie.
Mhm.
I don't have to play by their rules because the rules are set by stupid people. You know, so and when you come to that realization, you realize, you know what? I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah,
You know, and when you get and then you get to 2020 and you realize that if you just say no, it, the problem goes away. I learned that the hard way. From 20 to 22. I wish that I learned that when I was way back when I was a kid.
younger.
Oh my God, I could have been all kinds of things today. I might be
Mhm.
an astronaut or something. you but I just started to say, oh my God, I can do whatever the fuck I want. You know,
Mhm.
and all the limitations, all the pressure you felt from the world just goes away, and anything is possible.
Yeah.
Things you said, oh, you can't do that. You're like, why not do that? you know, so I've basically been living my life ever since like that, and that's the biggest change from 20 to 24 is that now I just do shit. In this heat of the moment, I decide to, let's say, I decide to go to Rome. That was not a part of the plan, you know,
Mhm.
and and I just had a feeling, okay, I would like to go there. I've never been to Rome really, so uh, yeah, that could be fun. Instead of having this conversation myself and try to psych myself up to do it, maybe save my money and make a trip next year. I just sit down.
Mhm.
Okay, what do I have? Okay, I have $1,000. That has to last me 5 days. You know, and
Right.
I just make a trip and I go. You know, I make the decision, I make the plans, and I go.
Yeah.
I'm not
It's a good
thinking
way to.
about things no more. I just do it. If I get an idea in my head and I really want to do it, I do it.
Mhm.
And I think that's the biggest difference for me from before 2020 and after 2020. So I'm the first guy to shit on what happened in that period of time, but it also did me a lot of good. I learned a lot about myself in that period. Things I would never, well, not never, but it would take me a lot longer to get to that point if it wasn't for COVID. You know,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
accelerated everything for me, and and I I think the guy I've become in the last 4 years, it would have taken me 20, 30 years if you look who I was before then. So I developed so much because I got pressured. And
Yes.
yeah, pressure makes diamonds, and I think that's what happened in that period.
Yeah. It was like going through super courses,
Yeah.
when instead of taking the 10-week course, you're doing it in 10 days. I, from the thing I remember the most about coming out of 2020 and 2021 is I realized I could let go of the anxiety. It gave me such I don't know, I found an inner strength that I didn't realize I had, because the day that stands out the biggest to me was the day when I walked into Aldi's, the grocery store, and I'm walking in with my son, and as we're walking through the doors, he went and put his face diaper on his face, and of course I don't. And my heart was broken that my own son couldn't follow suit with his mom. But then to walk into that store and to realize that I was the only person in that entire building not wearing one. And I was like, fuck, when did me, and I think I was 54 at the time, and I remember saying this clearly in my head, when did me, 5'2" Annette, 54 years old, and I'm the person with the biggest set of balls in the grocery store right now? What the fuck happened?
Yeah.
When did this become a reality? How is it I'm the person out of
Yeah.
all of these people in the grocery store saying, this is ridiculous. We're not sick. I'm not sick. Why would I do this to myself? This isn't, we don't have to follow along. And to even see my neighbors, I saw people that live a block away from me. They wouldn't even make eye contact with me. And I was like, whoa, this is strange. Like,
Yeah.
I'm staring straight at them, trying to make them look at me like, hello, you know me, I know you. And they're like, nope, don't see her, can't look at her, and I was, wow.
It
And
it
then
was
it was
even
surreal.
yeah, but I even think that the following year, let's say 2023, when it kind of went away, you know, that was even more surreal. You know, when it was like this blanket just keep being lifted and everybody just forgot about it. You know, it was like poof. How can everything people have been going around screaming and being like in your face for 3 years, and all of a sudden when they lift the ban, everybody's just going back to normal. Okay, let's get back to work. uh, that was a very weird period for me because I was looking at people, and all of a sudden they were walking around smiling like nothing ever happened. But it was the same people that screamed at me a year ago. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
It was kind of surreal,
yeah,
that
yeah,
people can. I can understand why you buy the narrative. That is out of fear, you know. I can understand that. I don't think it's it's normal behavior, but I can understand why people will fall for the fear mongering. That's okay. But how you can just forget it when it's gone, that is that I don't get. I think
yeah.
it has to be embarrassment. It has to be pride.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah.
think that's what it is.
People don't want to admit they were wrong, or they were bamboozled.
Yeah, yeah. That's it right there. Not wrong, bamboozle. People don't like to be cheated, and all
Yeah,
of a sudden, oh shit, I got played.
yeah, right, right.
And that guy, that idiot Brian, he was right. Oh my god,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
fuck that shit. Yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, people got bamboozled and I didn't like it. That's what
yeah,
it is. So welcome there, Callum. And if anybody wants to jump on, I don't know how to pin that link, so I just keep posting it, but it's out there somewhere. Oh yeah, it's there. If you want to jump on, Callum, you're welcome. Or anybody else. Good to see you. Not of this world. Anybody else joined us?
yeah. Please
All
do
right. What?
jump in the conversation.
Yes. It's a open panel. Anybody can press the link, and I know people are used to the pin in the top. And if anybody can tell me how to do it, I will do it. But I don't know how to do it. You're supposed to pin it here in the top. Everybody else does it except me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we have right now. It's just they're going to do all the preparation for what they want in 2030, and it's kind of the silence before the storm. I guess that's where we are at now, because I think the storm is going to start 2030, and everything up till that point will just be implementations.
Yeah, what you said about Barron earlier makes a lot of sense. He
Yeah.
would be the
They,
face of the next generation,
if you want a, what do you call it, a false messiah,
right?
you need a clean sheet. You need somebody innocent. You can't have it. Can't be Trump. It
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
be people who are already tainted. It has to be a clean sheet, a white lamb. It has to be.
yeah.
You know, and I
And you're right, young enough to play the long game yet for the next
yeah,
generation, for the next 50
and
years.
you need to be a son of the king.
Yeah,
So that's where I put my bet
yeah.
on Barron. I
Yeah.
think he is going to lead the world from, how old is he now?
He's he just graduated college, so he's young, 21, probably 22, maybe,
Yeah, so
right?
maybe
I think he
2040,
just
2050,
graduated.
he'll be put in play, something like that. He needs They need to be sure that he's well indoctrinated
Yeah.
before they do anything. But I think it's all in the plans. So yeah, it could be somebody else. I don't know. It's just the best bit that I have right now
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
for that part.
I wanted to ask you is, I noticed right after you had gotten back last summer, there was an old church fire that had happened in your country, and it was the church with the dragon spire. Did that burnt
Yes,
down?
it's not actually a church. It
Okay,
is
so tell
our
me
wall.
more.
It was an old church, but it's our Wall Street actually.
Oh,
It
hence
is
the
our
change in money coming, huh?
yeah, and that's what burnt down. It is an old building. It used to be a big church, but now we call it Börsen. It's a economical forum.
Okay.
It's not like your Wall Street where there's trade and stuff like that.
Hmm.
Börsen is more like, yeah, well, it is an equivalent of your Wall Street, you know, but it's
Yeah,
just a
it was
little different.
an iconic building for that, though, to
It,
represent your
yeah,
finances. Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, it is. So yeah, good for you bringing that up. I forgot all about that shit. You see, I've been out of the game for too long.
Yeah.
But we have a lot of interesting stuff happening. And it's not like it's all at once. It's like once every month or 2 months something comes up, and but it's huge. We have huge changes here. Um, we have a gradual, what do you call it? Social score system coming in.
Oh,
Yeah, and they're
yeah.
starting to do small footsteps towards that direction.
Hmm.
Now instead of a police guy standing with a laser and giving you a ticket, they're starting to put them up everywhere. So you can just they can just take a picture of you anytime, anywhere where you're
Right,
speeding, and they just send you a ticket. So now we're already getting to that social score thing.
right.
And they implemented that in some different ways. If you owe money, not even only to the government, but also to private corporations, you know, they will
Mm-hmm.
start to implement that they can make a draft from your paycheck.
Oh,
So every month, so they say like, okay, we're gonna hold back 7% of your paycheck to pay off your debt to that and that and that. You know,
yeah.
all it needs to be reported by a company into what we call the what do you call it?
Your
The
IRS,
cabinet of death. You know,
right?
we have like a big cabinet of that takes care of all the death in our country, you know. And if company, it used to be only for public forums, you know, if you owe taxes and stuff like that, like your IRS, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And but now it's, you can, as a private company, you can go and make a claim that this guy owes me so and so money, and I need to get it, and they can take it directly out of your paycheck now.
Wow.
So yeah,
Or like your
that's
car payment.
already been, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's already implemented. I know a guy who's already paying like, as insane, like with taxes and what he's paying extra, you know,
Mm-hmm.
he's laying down 70% of his paycheck
Wow.
every time he gets a paycheck. 70% of it is taken away.
Wow.
So yeah.
How did you find it traveling in Europe recently? Was everything to do with your smartphone to pay, or were you able to pay with cash or currency, or was
It was
everything
differently.
digital?
It's differently, I say. I was surprised by Italy. They were pretty old school. It was basically cash all the way. I actually looked like the dumb tourist with my phone in my hand when I was in Italy. Everybody else was paying with cash.
Ah,
So and that's Rome. That's one of the bigger city, you know, and it was
right.
still cash based. You could pay with your phone. They had anything. You can pay with your credit cards, with your phone. You can do all that, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
like obvious. You know, in my country, it's right on the counter. You just put the phone there, beep, you know, and you move on. In
Yeah.
Italy, they say cash or card, and if you say card, you know, they bring it up from down here under
Ah,
the counter and hand it and punch in a
yeah.
code, and you have to do it. So it's not like, it's actually, in Italy it's more convenient to use cash, you know,
Mm,
and it's also in the Italian culture, you know, you leave the money, you know, on the counter for the service and stuff, and you
mm,
lay a little tip and all that, you know. So
yeah.
it's, they use they using cash a lot more than we do in our country, you know.
Interesting.
uh Sweden was pretty much as the same as here, I guess. Not much difference. Just like us, they have their own money still. We are Denmark and Sweden and Norway are pretty much the only countries in the northern Europe that still has our own money.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody else has gone to the euro, and
Yeah.
so, and Germany, I liked Berlin, I must say. That's a laid back culture down there.
Mm,
You know, it's it was weird, but money wise, they're pretty much the same as the rest of Europe. But I was surprised by the laid back mentality of Berlin, and it's definitely not the last time I've gone to Berlin. There's so much more to see down there. I'm gonna make that at some point a trip on its own, because
nice.
yeah, I didn't have enough time in Berlin.
Mm-hmm. That was your first time there then, huh?
No,
Oh,
but it
oh,
was the
okay.
first time wandering the city like that.
Oh, yeah. Like
Uh,
leisurely
I've,
then. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I've been in Berlin 3 or 4 times just for competing, you
Uh-huh.
know. So it's not my first time there, but it was my first time wandering the town, and it's the first time after my awakening. I've never looked at
Right.
buildings before in my life, you know.
Yeah.
That didn't mean anything to me before 2015, at all, so it's the first time there with my new eyes,
Right.
so
It,
so
right. There's so much to look at now that you know with new things. You can look at the eagle and know, oh, that's representing something else, or or the bull, for instance, that was Taurus, or
yeah,
I mean, there's so much now. When you look at something, you're like, oh, I can see it in so many different ways.
yeah. And there are definitely no eagles in Germany. They're all phoenixes, all of them. Yeah, and it's not in the United States. It's pretty much they at least they make it look like an eagle. But if you go close to any eagle in Germany, you can
Mm-hmm.
see that it's a phoenix. It's not an eagle.
Yeah.
So that is a deception as well.
Yeah. There's something to that for sure.
Yeah,
The
and it has
symbology.
the two heads. That's a big
Yeah.
thing in Germany. The two-headed eagle.
Yeah.
But it's a phoenix, and I think that is a symbol of transition from an old world to a new world. And if you look at it, that is what the Nazi regime represented. They wanted to create a new world. You
Mm.
know, they were kind of the precursor for this new world order that they're trying to impose now. So if you look at it in that perspective, you see a phoenix, that with two heads that represents the old world and the new world. So, so yeah, I would never have seen that ten
I
years
also
ago.
wonder if there isn't a connection to with Janus. Have you heard of the god Janus? Is also a two-faced being. It's a man with
Uh,
a face that in both directions.
yeah, I think I've seen it. I don't know much about it, I must say.
I don't know a lot about it other than it just seems like uh, another symbol for the same another hidden the same hidden meaning.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Symbolism is everywhere, and nowadays when I see something, I don't go, what does this mean? You know,
Yeah.
I don't, and I'm more like, what do they want me to believe? What is the narrative around this? And then I built from the opposite end of that. you know,
Right.
so,
Right.
so the first thing I do every time I see something new is I just tear down that stigma that's surrounding it, and see it for what it really is, you know. So, and these days I'm kind of like the guy with the glasses on, I starting to see I starting to see the world for what it is, and I don't have to look that hard, In 2015 I was kind of awake, but I still had to, you know, look at it a couple of times before I saw the problem. Now it's right in my face, and yeah, it's just like I see the whole world in a new light now.
So do you think like we're part of maybe a set of souls that are looking to graduate out of this game?
I think definitely we are meant to be elevated to somewhere else, but as long as we don't understand what this realm is, we can't answer that question at all. Everything is just speculation. I still think that there might be more to this realm that we know. I'm not just talking about spiritual side. I think we could be in the middle of something really big. You know, um, I think there could be a lot more land out there. That is still one of my big beliefs. So, but I
My
don't know.
my
Yeah, I think we could be the middle of a. There could be land all around us, basically.
Mhm, mhm.
I see ourselves as an island in the middle of a pond, or lake if you want, somewhere, and we pretend that there's nothing behind the coastline,
Right.
you know. So, but if you get there could be anything out there. You don't. That's the whole point. You don't know what's behind the coastline
No.
of that pond. You know, and we
No.
can sit here wondering all day long about what's out there. But we'll never figure that out unless we go there. And if we go there, we probably won't come back.
No.
And it's not because there's a cruiser down there waiting for me and shooting me because I'm such a bad guy. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
No.
saying if you get out, I don't think you can get in. I think that's the whole point. It seems like we have in this realm, we have outside forces fighting for what's in it. I
Mm.
don't think they can meddle. That's why they are implementing AI and all kinds of implementations. That's so they're trying to build their way into this realm.
I've also heard the opposite. They talk about how they're trapped here too, like they're the fallen angels, and then they can't get out of this realm, so that they use our energy to keep us here stuck with them.
The Archons, yeah, that sounds like the story of the Archons. Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, that is a possibility too. Everything is a possibility,
Yep.
and that's the whole point. The moment you start closing things down and say, well, I don't believe that, you know that
Yeah.
is too far out. That's that's the biggest mistake you can do. You have to think everything is a possibility. Even the the if you have a list over 10 possibilities, you still have to be open for number 10. You just have to.
Hmm.
You will exclude valuable information if you don't listen to all the sides of the story.
I agree. The
Yeah.
man that's not willing to hear the opposite side of his argument doesn't have a lot of faith in his argument.
No, and you'll miss out.
Yeah.
You'll miss out. And that's what's happening all over the world right now. They've got us arguing about everything,
Mhm.
everything. I mean, I hope I don't offend anybody, but we have people arguing whether they're a man or a woman. I mean, what the
Mhm.
fuck? If you can get
How
people,
confused we are.
if you can
Go on.
get people that confused, yeah, there's no limit for where this can go.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
so yeah, I definitely see. I call it a spiritual war, but I think it could be more than that. I think it could be a physical fight going on outside of this realm, you know.
Hmm.
So here's the thing, because there's a movie that still bugs me really much, and it's the what's it called, the Mockingjay movie. Is it called the Mockingjay?
I don't know that.
Yeah, you do. With the uh, help me out,
Jupiter
guys.
Rising
The
that sticks in my mind.
the movie with Snow and the Mockingjay and Candace. Hunger Games. Exactly.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
didn't see Hunger Games. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Hunger Games. That's the
I didn't
movie
watch.
I'm thinking about.
I haven't seen it.
If you think how that is built, you have the citadel in the middle and you have all the districts around it, you know,
I can't
just
relate because
provide.
I didn't watch the movie, but I've heard about it, but I
Okay.
haven't seen it.
Yeah. But basically, what it is it's a big citadel with all the elite and the rich living in the middle, you know, and then you have 12 sections around it, all the way around it, and they provide for the citadel to exist. You know, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's a game and all that, but that's not important. The important part is that we could be a part of one of those districts, just contributing to something that's bigger.
Right.
You know, so
Mm-hmm.
imagine we're just one of those districts around this citadel. You know, and yeah, anything is possible. But that movie really bugs me because it falls in line with what I've been thinking for a while. You know, and yet it's different because I used to have a theory about we have all these existence around us, and we were in the center, and we were some kind of energy point. You know, I had a thought at some point that we were just one big battery that everybody else was hooked into. You know, because it seems like there's been a fueling of chaos ever since I can remember. You know, they have wanted chaos just for the sake of chaos. You know, and bad energies and vibes, and they want us to destroy the world and make lightning. You know, and it could all just be that we are a generator
Mm-hmm.
for everything else out there, and it makes sense why they wouldn't care about us because we are a necessity. You know,
Right.
if we are a necessity, they wouldn't have empathy for us because we are necessary for their existence. You know, so that was a thing I had in a long time, and but the Hunger Games kind of reversed that the elite is in the center and everybody's around it, and that makes sense too. So yeah, that's an idea to
Interesting.
work with. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But it also could just be a spiritual side that there is some unseen force dimension kind of thing. Um, I don't know,
I
and that's
can't
the
remember.
beauty of it. That's where
Yeah.
you become a truly. That's where you know you're awake. You know, it's when you say, "I don't know." Anybody who says that they have all the answers and listen to me, and all you're saying is bullshit, they're not awake in my book. You know.
No. No.
Because if you're truly awake, you've been cheated so many times that you know for a fact that you don't know shit. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember who I heard this from, but I heard somebody say to me, or maybe I read it or heard it, I don't know which, but if it was Edgar Casey or Swedenborg, somebody saying that upon death, it was like crossing the street, that life wasn't going to be all that very different.
Mm.
And I thought, that's fucking horrifying. Here we're,
Yeah.
here we're always expecting to go to this heaven or to have this other great destination that we're going to. And what if we just, yeah, we die, but then we're like right back, we're right back where we're at. What
But
if we're in another movie, different
but
act,
that could just be the
the same
punishment for not
movie though,
getting there. That could just be the punishment for not getting there, you know? So
right?
that could just be one side of the coin. That could still be heaven. You just didn't earn your spot. So
Yeah.
yeah. Hey there, Scott Level Realm. So, yeah, once you realize you've been fed lies your entire life, it makes life make more sense. Yeah, you definitely feel more alive. That's for sure. so yeah, uh, and yet everything you've done up until that point makes no sense. So it's kind of like I feel like that. I have lived in two lives. I had my life up until 2015 where I got truly awake, and
Mhm.
I had a new life after that. So that's how I feel. And funny enough, in 2015, I was actually 40 precisely. I was 40 years old.
Yeah.
So, and that's what I just said. For the first time in my life, when you're 40, you sit down. Yeah, okay. I
Right.
was actually 40 at that point.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's some kind of the threshold. That's the most people I talked about are in their 40s and in their 50s. You know, tell me, guys out there, is there anybody in their 30s or anybody above 60 in the chat?
Yeah. What if every generation is going through this? You know, like you said, you heard yourself sounding like your father at one point. You're like, oh, I'm turning into that old man. Every generation maybe goes through these growing pains of watching the next generation turn into something we're not.
Yeah,
You know, it's nothing to
42.
be
Yeah. And that's
upset
my
about.
thing.
It's just the way of
I, I
life.
I've noticed that there kind of is. We have exceptions for being over 60 and exceptions that are under 30. But it seems like everybody in this awake movement is kind of like between 35 and 60, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this period. This is kind of, but it could also just be a coincidence, for the awakening that everybody woke up at that time. I don't know. So it's, but it's definitely. I think you can either be young enough to still be in the system, or you're too old to accept the new. You know, I think
Right.
it's either that. There's a Goldilocks zone where you're actually still open to the truth, I guess.
Hmm.
Because if you pass a certain point, they even say it in the Matrix. They say normally we don't wake up people after a certain age because their brain can't cope with it.
Right.
So yeah, I think there's an upper limit as well. If you're above that, there's a reason. There's a the chance you won't accept this new realm, this new life you're supposed to live. So it's either denial or you're just not able to see it.
We're
So
experiencing life in the Goldilocks zone right now, then.
yeah, yeah, we were born in the Goldilocks zone. The only problem is sometimes I think ignorance is bliss.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so
Right.
sometimes I wish I didn't know that much.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's about it. I think the thing that's gonna come is gonna be easier, but more sinister. Because many people ask me, "Oh, do you think it's gonna be a third world war? Do you think we're gonna have an alien invasion and shit?" I think no, that's not gonna. It's not gonna be any of that shit.
Mm.
Now they're just gonna correct the world and reap the harvest. Right now, they're reaping. They're what do you call it? Sowing uh, this big deception. This big. They're sowing the new world order. Right now, and they're gonna use Trump for that. Oh, you just wait and see. They're gonna use him. He's gonna
Yeah.
implement all the roads they need. He's gonna. I I I bet you within a year he has stopped the conflict in Ukraine. Within a year.
Oh, it could be quicker than that. I think
Yeah, I think so
it'll
too.
be
I'm
before
generous.
spring. Yeah, yeah.
You know,
He'll have
and
that
and he
probably.
is also going to solve the one in
Yeah, yeah.
between Hamas and Israeli, you know,
Palestine.
because
You think? I don't know. I think it's beneficial to keep that going for a while.
well, I don't think so. I don't think
I
so.
think they're trying to have a Muslim Christian.
No, that's
Uh,
just another. That's just one country they miss on that list they made, and that's what this is all about. It's not
yeah,
about Israel and Hamas. They want a conflict.
they want
That's
Iran.
that's it. Who they want? Yeah,
There we go. That's the
yeah.
country that's held out the longest.
He made a list. Remember, he
Yeah,
made a list.
yeah,
Bush
yeah,
made a list
yeah,
over 7 countries, and
yeah.
there's only one country missing on that list.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
So that's what that's about, you know. But
Yep.
they still gonna let Trump solve that crisis in in Hamas and Israel because it gives him power, you know.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and that's what he's gonna get power from the whole world because he's gonna solve a lot of problems. And we're not only talking about wars. He's gonna solve inflation. He's gonna solve the trade, economics.
Mm,
You know, he that's why they chose him. He's a
yeah,
businessman,
yeah,
and
yeah.
no matter what thought you have about Trump, even whether you like him or not, you know, everybody respects him as a businessman.
Hmm.
You know, and that's why he's the perfect candidate for this. You know, that's
He'll
the
be the
only
one that
common.
they'll be taking our $100 bills away next. Yeah,
Yep, yeah. He's the that is the common factor of this world is money.
yeah.
You know, that's basically the only thing we agree upon at this point. We all need money. You know? so so yeah,
Yeah, that will
and
definitely be the biggest change coming.
so they're just gonna tweak him up a little by little, you know, give him another feather in his cap, you know, and
Mhm.
lo and behold, in 2030, he has accomplished things nobody thought was possible, but actually they were pretty easy problems to fix in the first place
Oh, yeah.
because it's it's like it's like a bubble bursting, you know. You they have been building these problems up for so long just for him to solve them.
Hmm.
That's how I see it, you know. And he's only going to implement the groundwork, and then they're going to implement a guy that takes the fall, and after that the false messiah will come in whatever shape or form he or she will be.
There's still going to be another shoe to drop on the COVID too. I'm sure they're going to be throwing Fauci or somebody under the bus for that because the dying's not stopping.
Why? They don't need to. Look back at the Spanish flu. You know, you remember anybody being thrown under the bus for that one?
Yeah, yeah, right.
Nah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Time will heal all wounds. As I said, people are already embarrassed by being duped. You know, so everybody's just gonna keep that quiet.
They're
I
not
didn't
putting two
even.
and two together. They're not. And it's flooring me.
I didn't
I
say.
just last week we had another 45-year-old nurse at the local doctor's office dead. Another client of mine, her mom, 63, cancer, gone, with cancer for less than 6 months. Um, I, th- that's not stopping. Yeah, I'm up to 23 in 23 months. I mean, 23 people in my life in 23 months. So that number's not slowing down. And in fact, I think it's going to pick up even more. So But and this is what kills me is that nobody is putting the connection together with COVID. None of them are.
No.
Even the ones that know
And
better.
even if they did, they're gonna keep quiet about that shit.
That's what I'm saying. Even the ones that know better
Mm.
are not speaking
That's
out
what
and saying,
happened. It was a big social experiment. I don't even think it was a medical experiment. I think it was a social experiment.
"Oh,
What they
for
did
sure."
in 2020 was because I was not always a good guy. You know, I had bad ties when I was a young guy. You know, I was never in a gang, but I was in an environment with a lot of gang members. You know, so I was not always. I still know people from back then, and even those people, they got humbled by this, and that was a weird thing for me. I saw people who never took shit, never took no for an answer, put
Mhm,
their head to the ground and their eyes on the ground, you know.
mhm.
I was like, what the fuck is this? You know?
Yeah,
And I thought it was about just putting on the mask, you know, that humbles people, but it was more than that, you know. That was definitely some kind of, I call it the signal. I don't know what it is exactly. I can't put my finger on it. It could be subliminal messages. It could be energy uh, changes, whatever it is. But I saw a big change in everybody around me. I saw a lot of strong people go weak within a year or two. You know, they just
a break.
got weak. You know,
Yeah,
they got pathetic to a point where they're pathetic. You know,
a
and
breaking of the spirit.
yeah, yeah, and it was not like they were pushed. They got, you know, the check from the government. It was not like their job was taken away from them, and they lost somebody close to them and stuff like that. You know, I could understand that would bring a man down. You know, but it was nothing like that. It was just like somebody pushed a button, and all of a sudden, all the character just spilled out. You know. It was a weird 2 years of my life. Watching people change from 20 to 22 is something I'll never forget. You know,
Yeah.
they were changing right in front of my eyes.
Did you watch any of the boxing event
Yes, I
that
did.
happened
I did
recently?
see. Yeah, yeah. I did see my Mike and Jake Paul box. Yeah,
What did you
uh,
think?
yeah. I think it was exactly what I expected. It was a show. It was a show. It was
Yeah,
never a boxing match.
I don't know.
So
I was really hoping they were going to let the Gen Xer win.
no, you know that shit right there was, if not predetermined, you know, they had an agreement. They have a mutual understanding.
Right, right. A
You
gentleman's
know,
agreement for no knockout.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
basically, you
yeah.
know, basically what it is, you know, is that if you see it from Jake Paul's point of view, you know, it's a lose-lose situation. If he gets knocked out by Mike Tyson, his career is over.
Yeah,
You know, his
yeah,
all that shit he's built up is over. You
yeah,
know, but if he knocks out Mike Tyson, everybody's gonna hate him.
yeah, yeah. Then you're beating up an old man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's gonna lose fan base on that too. So it was a lose-lose situation for me. That was the first thing when people brought this up. I said that is going to go the decision all the way. No
Mhm.
way. You know, I don't know
Yeah,
if they're gonna give it to Mike or they're gonna give it to Jake, but it's definitely gonna be a decision. Nobody's getting knocked out in that one. You know, and
yeah,
Mike Tyson never had the ability to knock out Jake Paul. Jake knew that. Mike knew that. You know,
Mm.
And that was the mutual understanding they had. They both knew that Mike couldn't knock out Jake Paul, and Tyson knew that Jake Paul is not going to knock him out because that would be very bad for his legacy.
Yeah, right.
So he was kind of in the clear, So everything just played out exactly like I I predict.
You thought?
Yeah, I thought it would do. It would be. It would be every. There was a moment where they almost forgot what they were doing, and start fighting, and you could see them pull back right away.
Mm.
I saw Mike pull a punch, and I saw Jake Paul pull a punch. They both did it. So yeah,
Now, let me ask you this.
yeah.
Did you take the time to watch the female boxers that they had on
Of
before the
course,
big show?
of course. I
Okay,
watched the
good.
whole card. I watched the
That
whole
was
card.
that was the fight. That was the real fight that happened now. Did you
You
notice
know what?
the women
Listen,
had more gusto, more fucking fighting going
that
on?
was originally that was the main event of the card.
Well, it was the main event.
Yeah.
Those were the two people fighting that night because I didn't see
Oh
any
no, there
fighting
were
the
there
rest
were other
of the
good fights too. The fight between Barrios and Ramos was a great fight too. So
yeah.
there were really there were good boxing matches in that show. It just
I
ended
just thought it was
on a
interesting that I thought the women brought more uh, passion and actually looked more like warriors to me than the men did.
yeah. You know
That was just
why?
my opinion. I mean, when
You
you
know
see
why?
women hugging and I mean, you didn't see the women hugging. Come on.
No, but you know why? Because those they actually trying to knock each other out. That was the difference.
Right. What was a real fight? What wasn't? Fucking A.
Yeah. Oh, there were other great fights. The fight between Ramos and Barrios, I really enjoyed that one. That was a really good fight.
Okay, now see, I
So
didn't watch that one.
now, see, now you're the one lagging,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it was actually the fight just before the women. So
Okay, I didn't see that one.
great fight. And so it was a better card than I expected. I knew the women's fight would be awesome, but there were other fights that were actually pretty good too. So
Ah,
I just see the Jake Paul and the Mike Tyson kind of thing it was just a
it was
going out with a bang. It was just a part of the show, It
it was a
was
payday.
yeah, and
It's
if you just see it for that, it was good for them,
yeah,
Uh, Mike Tyson get to go in the ring, and that's
yeah,
why I think that's why because he's been thinking about that before Jake Paul. Once a fighter, always a fighter. You want to step in that ring, and he's just saw an opportunity in Jake Paul. You know what? It would be
yeah,
very bad for his legacy if he knocks me out. I'm pretty safe in this one. So he just
yeah,
used the
yeah.
opportunity to just for one more
Taste of fate.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it is a payday. He has like 12 companies. Mike Tyson don't need the money. But it was a lot of money. He got paid, I think, $100 million or something like that. So it was a big payday. But I
Yeah,
don't think that was why he did it. It was one more time into the breach, my dear friends. It was just it was his
yeah,
farewell to the ring. It was his last opportunity to step back in there, and
yeah,
he took it. And you can't blame him for that, and you can't blame Jake Paul for taking the fame out of it. If anybody out there feels cheated about what went on that night,
mm,
it's because they made some expectations that they shouldn't. It's in people's own mind that they built this up. Yes, of course, the media helps, but that's their
yeah,
job. It's to amplify
right.
something so you buy it. That's the whole point. But uh, if you feel cheated out of that match in any shape or form, it's your own goddamn fault. That's my point of view.
I enjoyed it. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it just from the
if you
aspect I
just see
wanted
it
to
for what
see
it is,
somebody my, you
if
know.
you just see it for one more chance to see Mike Tyson in the ring, and
Yep.
y- y- it's then it's cool. It's a cool way to end
Yeah.
the night.
Yeah.
And when you already had two bangers of fights before that, how can you complain? And I even see people out there, oh yeah, how can they charge money for this? It was on fucking Netflix. It was not even a pay-per-view, How can you
Right.
actually feel cheated about this?
Right.
Do
Right.
you have Netflix?
Right.
Yeah, he had Netflix. How long do
Yeah,
you
right.
have Netflix? I had Netflix for 3 years. Okay, how
Right.
can you feel cheated for something you actually got that
Yeah.
fight for free?
Right. Right.
So it's
Yeah.
just stupid.
Back
You
in
know,
the day, you would go to a bar and spend $20 to have to watch it on a TV.
yeah, that can't do it no more. $20 is
No.
if you want to
Oh,
watch the pay per view in MMA.
yeah, yeah,
It's expensive.
yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so I if you want it in Denmark, we can get it per subscription. That channel who shows all the UFC fights is 400. It's 500 krones. That's like $80 a month.
Oh, wow.
$80 a month. That's the price if you want to watch UFC in Denmark.
Mm, that's expensive.
So yeah, it is. Especially if you're a guy like me who just watch one fight a year, maybe,
Yeah,
then it's pretty expensive.
yeah.
So I don't do it. I just go to sleep, don't listen to any media, and when I wake up, I go straight to YouTube and watch the matches. So I don't get the result before I watch them. So I
Oh,
always do it like
okay.
that. Yeah. So you can sometimes if it's big match, I have to have my kid or somebody else, press the link for me because the it's already in the title who won. So
Oh, right,
I don't.
right, right.
I want to watch the match. That's nothing worse to watch a match you already know the outcome of. So
Yep.
I want So yeah, so I see it once just for that, and then maybe the next day I watch all the matches just for to see techniques and what I can pull from it. If I saw something new, I can play with.
So, do you
So
pay for your television service at all? Do
I
you
have
have like what?
Netflix. I have Netflix,
But what
and
about
I
like
have
your basic?
the one.
What about like your basic television service? Do you pay for that at all, or
I don't have television service.
okay? What
I'm
your average
not.
household? Do they get TV for free, or do they have to pay for it?
No, there's a government payment. They want us to pay what they call it media thing, a one-time deal you have to pay every year. And I say, I'm not paying that shit.
Okay.
So I have no expenditure for my for anything
Hmm.
related to TV. I
Okay.
have UFC descriptions. That's why I watch my matches. I have YouTube Premium because it takes all the commercials away. That's worth it alone for me. I hate
Mhm.
the commercials, and I have Netflix. That's it. That's all the
So,
expenses.
growing up as a child, did you have television in the house? Did it? You had a
Yes,
TV in the
I
house?
I grew up. I actually grew up in front of a television,
Okay.
and
And but back
so
then, did they make your family pay for it too, or was it free? Because
it
we
was.
had free TV for a long time.
Yeah, we had that too. It's free until you get addicted. That's the part.
Right.
So yeah, actually in Denmark you could get a TV for free back in the days. You know, they
Oh,
they
okay.
they made not for free. You are still paying it, but if you couldn't
Right.
afford a TV back in the 70s, if you couldn't afford to have a television in your home, you could
Yeah.
go in any store and just pick up a TV, and pay it over the next 12 or 24 months. You just pay a layaway without interest, anything. It was government paid layaway, on your TV. So everybody, they implemented a TV in every home in Denmark back in the 70s.
Okay.
And through the 80s, start 90s, it was free, and then the
Hmm.
payment started to come. You know,
Yeah.
then we had paid TV, cable. That's what you call
Hmm.
cable.
Right.
And we had our own national channels. They were free. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering. Same here.
yeah, it's basically the same all over the world. It's the same scam. Isn't it funny
Yeah.
that all that implementation shit, we always agree on that. We can't agree on anything else, but when it
Mhm.
comes to the media and your doctrination, everybody agrees.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, since 2003, I haven't watched television. So
Okay.
I'm going on 20 years plus now.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, it was
So I
2016 when I lost my job.
yeah, and I actually hate TV now. And it's not like I have something against people who watch TV. That's okay. But when I would visit friends and family, it's just on 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
can't, and I hate myself because I can't stop listening to it when I'm in the home. It takes my attention, even though I'm actually making an effort for it not to get my attention. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's crazy. It has some kind of insane pulling power. It really does. Because I'm aware I know I don't want to watch it. I know there's nothing on it I want to watch, and yet
Hmm.
when I'm in a home with a TV, I catch myself doing this all the time, you know,
Right.
and so it is some kind of hypnotic device
Yeah.
because it
I
actually
agree.
gets me, even though I'm totally off the wagon, if you if you
Yeah.
want,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it still gets me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I'm fortunate I don't have to run into TV very often either.
yeah, it's a big thing in Denmark. If you go in a home, somebody else's home in Denmark, the TV is on. It's always on.
Normally here too, you
Okay.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, in my own personal life, I don't have the, it's not in my life anywhere, really. It's not at work, it's not at home. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
But here too,
But
any other household. And back in the day, though, I was the type of person that had a TV in every room. There was one in the living room, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, and I even had one in the bathroom for a short time. You could sit on the toilet and watch the TV. Oh my God.
basically, I watch movies. That's it. That's why I have Netflix. I like movies. So if I have that urge, I put on a movie. I never want to put on a TV program. I don't watch series.
Yeah.
I don't watch any of that.
Yeah.
So a
Yeah,
movie now and then, that's cool, but that's it.
yeah, me too. But I get them off of YouTube. And nowadays, I've been going back and watching the old movies from the 70s and 80s. Because, like you
Yep.
said, now that you got new eyes, it's more interesting to watch
Yeah,
the
you
old
see it
movies
with different
again.
eyes now. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I see movies with a different eye too. You know. So even go back and watch the old horror movies. They were pretty good back in the day. That was a lot. You could human behavior.
Right?
If you go, yeah. Uh, I
There's a
used to be
channel called, sorry, go ahead.
I used to I'm very fond of Stephen King. I liked his writing style because
Mhm.
it's more about human and human nature that is actually about evil. He writes evil like it's a part of human nature, and I
Mhm.
always liked that. So when I got this realization that I have, I went back and I watched all Stephen King movies from back in the day. They're
Yeah.
still pretty bad, but you still see them with a different eye,
Right.
and you get a little. Even though it's you said, okay, that was a waste of 90 minutes of my life.
Mhm.
You still get a little thing that you heard in
Yeah.
there, and you're like, that was
Yeah.
interesting. You know.
I think my favorite Stephen King movie was Cujo, the one
Yeah,
with the dog. You
yeah.
know, you could take a dog and make a horror film out of a dog. That's pretty. Yeah, you're
Cujo
right.
is
That
from
would be taken.
that's from Pet Cemetery, isn't it?
No. Oh, was it a continuation of Pet Cemetery? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think so. It's Cujo is the dog from Pet Cemetery.
Okay.
It's the dog that comes back to life.
Oh my God, I never put that connection together all
Yeah,
these years. And then the other good one was the car that came alive. Remember the black car
yeah,
that came alive? That was a
yeah,
good one.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you're
So
right.
yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting format of the way he used horror.
yeah, and if you look at it, he was more of a. I put him in the same category as science fiction writers. He was kind of like
Mhm.
on the far edge, and that was a theme in his movies.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
not in his movies, in his books.
right.
Because I still think the books are way better than the movies. So
I was just going to say that the books were always better than the movies.
yeah,
Yeah.
and Stephen King is. I won't say Stephen King is special, but those people who made the Stephen King movies were especially bad at making movies.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's that. All right. I got a half an hour until I have to go off to work, so I'm gonna wrap
Ah,
it up soon.
I was just going to say goodbye as well. I was like, I
Yeah.
Jones in for the
Yeah.
one
Well,
hitter.
it's it's midnight at where you at?
10:30, almost 10:30.
Oh yeah, you're 7 hours. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you'll be
I need.
starting your day, and I'll be starting my sleep.
Yeah. It's gonna be a shit day.
Ah,
It's gonna be all right. I'm gonna make the best of it.
good, good.
So yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
go make coffee and I'm gonna wrap up. Thank you all for being here. It's been awesome. And for those who don't know, this is gonna be my last show about this stuff. I'm done. I don't. It's awesome to meet you guys and be here and talk, but I want to take my whole what do you call it experience in another direction at this point. So for first time in my life, I know what I want now, and um, I have things to offer. So this is I'm gonna talk a lot about health in the next couple of months until some new shit hits the fan. I just don't feel like dwelling in the past no more. I wanna look ahead, and as long as we're looking at COVID and we're looking at all those things back in the day, we're looking back. I don't.
yeah,
I'm done looking backwards. I wanna, and I don't want to look for the future either. So normally you hear me talk about what's gonna happen in 10 or 20 years, like I've done today. I don't want that either. Now I want to live in the present. I want to do with what I can with the knowledge I got right now. And when that knowledge no longer survives, I will try to get new. So right now, everything I do from here is trying to improve people's journey through this instead. So I will talk about health. I will talk about preparation. I will talk about how you can watch the world and see and get out of it for every information you need and stuff like that. But it won't be conspiracy stuff no more. I'm sick and tired of it, basically.
Yep.
So
Well, good. I look forward to it. We need a new positive direction.
yeah, we need
Good.
to be better.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it for me
Right.
today. I see you, Annette. Thank you for being
Good
here.
talking to you. Good catching up with you, Brian. Enjoy this
Yes,
beautiful day, huh?
you too, Annette.
All right.
Yours are ending. Yeah. Okay. See you on the
All
flip
right.
side.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. So that's it. It's only me and the bear. And you see, today we are divided. The bear's over there. He's talking too. You see? You see, he's blinking. Yeah. And I'm over here. And then that's the new me. I'm dividing myself a little. So I will be talking about fasting next. I don't know if I'm gonna make a live of it, but in this week that's coming right now, I will put out a video every day that will be about fasting, because that is the most significant change I've made in my life ever. Even waking up and all that, the best thing I've gotten out of all of this is I learned how to fast, and everything you've been taught from childhood is wrong. Not even wrong. It's the direct opposite, like everything else you've been told. So I want to take you on that journey. So I hope to see you here, even though I'm changing the direction. It would be fun. This is the Rebel. No, this is Brian. Over and out. See you on the flip side. Peace.
Levera, och glassor a sjå, och verkligen ska där i